Welcome to Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. I'm your host, Jill Jardine, Master's in Counseling Psychology, longtime astrologer, psychic healer, and yogi. In today's episode, my guest is Paul of Venus. I'm very excited to hear about his work on Mount Shasta and how he's bringing in the fifth dimension. You're going to want to stay tuned to see what he wants to share about the new Earth. Welcome to the episode featuring my guest, Paul of Venus. Paul of Venus was led home to Mount Shasta 7 years ago. Ascended Master Saint Germain guided Paul of Venus on the mountain through a death and emergence. He showed him many technologies, guiding him to ultimately surrender to God. He reached such a deep surrender, he began to connect with his star family, the Ascended Masters, unicorns, angels, all that is known as frequency. The Ascended Masters guided him into a pure reality on Mount Shasta. He came to Earth to help raise the frequency to one of pure love, divine source love that is original light. Mount Shasta is a multidimensional portal, a mirror showing us the purity within ourselves. She is the mountain of love, radiating this energy for us all to awaken to who we really are. He is living his life on Mount Shasta and receiving so many downloads and healings. He has connected with Master Saint Germain, along with his Venusian family, Sanat Kumara, Mother Venus, and Ascended Master Yeshua. His mission is that of light. Nothing is more important than the mission. Paul believes he came here to Earth from Venus to help teach us. His gifts include being a Venusian heart chakra activator, holding Venusian frequencies, healing through being, entering oneness, messages from our light family, embodiment, connection to our star family and ascended masters, and mostly frequency with conscious healing and love. We are very excited to have Paul of Venus on Cosmic Scene today. He also is the founder and guide of Mount Shasta Spiritual Tours. We're excited to hear what he has to say about the Ascended Masters, what's happening on Mount Shasta. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome my guest on today's episode, Paul of Venus. Welcome, Paul.
Hello, Jill.
I'm so glad to have you here today, and you're going to tell us about what's happening on Mount Shasta, about Saint Germain, and so much more. So please share the vibration, share your light.
Well, it's really special for me to be here and with Jill and all those who are listening are part of truly merging dimensions, merging realms. You see, as where I am now, here in Mount Shasta, at the base of the mountain where I live, the colors, the frequencies, the fifth dimensional energies that are present, it's light, teals and soft greens and soft pinks and violets and soft oranges. These frequencies you can see here surrounding the sun, sometimes in between the trees in Mount Shasta and over the past. And right now, this is what I'm seeing above me. They are showing me more than ever how beautiful that the realms are interweaving the fifth dimension, the sixth dimension realm of creation, interweaving with the third dimension. And it's such a beautiful, it's so subtle and gentle.
We feel it. We feel it, Paul. You know, some of my listeners may not even know, where is Mount Shasta? Why is it important? What is so special about it? Maybe we can start with that too.
Mount Shasta, to me, is the goddess of love. made manifest here. And she has been the galactic mother that has held so many civilizations here on Earth. There have been so many Atlantean colonies on this mountain. There are still Pleiadian colonies, Venusian colonies in higher dimensions inside Mount Shasta. This continues today. This is, again, this mountain is a place where many civilizations are able to come together from different dimensions effortlessly. For there is technology, and Mount Shasta is, she created water. There are tubes of water, and they are flowing under her so fast, and this creates this it's a technology, ancient technology, truly, but natural God technology. And this creates a field and energy like a vortex. And yes, there are many ley lines that cross around over Mount Shasta and up through the mountain in many directions. There are many harmonics of ley lines that I connect with on the mountain. And so this has allowed for third dimensional beings, fifth dimensional beings, seventh dimensional beings, beings of God consciousness to unite effortlessly and to come together. Mount Shasta is known as the root chakra of the earth. And yet, and she will bring you to yourself. And but she is much more than this. She is all of the chakras. Being a goddess, she is complete. It just depends where you go. You need to know her. And I do. And there are places to connect to ascended masters. And these are vortexes, and these vortexes are created by the harmonics of the ley lines. And they are stargates, so many stargates. And of course, there is Telos, and Telos is a world, a Lemurian world that began in the third dimension as a city. They've ascended 100 years ago. If you want a number, I don't like numbers like this on Earth, but
Very
just
ancient.
read it. Mm-hmm.
Very ancient
Yes.
consciousness. Wow. So, what, just to summarize a little bit, it sounds like what you're saying is that Mount Shasta is a multidimensional vortex and that it's more than one. It seems like, like people pretty much know Sedona, but like out here on the East Coast where I am, people don't know about Mount Shasta as much. And what I've known about it throughout the years that it's multidimensional. It's more than just one vortex.
Mm-hmm.
You say vortexes,
Mm-hmm.
I say vortices. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's more than one, there's
Yeah.
many. And I like what you're saying about it being the root chakra. I've heard some say it's the heart chakra, some say Glastonbury is the heart chakra, or some say Glastonbury is the root chakra, Glastonbury, England. And I love what you're saying about the Stargate. And I think you were saying Taurus, right? Toros, that there's a Taurus, which, so maybe explain some of that. Some of my listeners may not know what a Stargate is, or a Taurus, or even a ley line.
Okay. Beautiful. The Earth has many energetic lines that, when they cross, they create a sort of gateway of energy that allows God source light to enter. And so these vortexes, and for me, it's been, a ley line will have harmonics, just as music does. And this is technology from the Venusians, and the harmonics are beautiful creations. And when they cross on the mountain, they create certain openings. The ascended masters use this. Um, the the Telosians, people from Telos, these are fifth dimensional people of God consciousness that are within and around Mount Shasta. You can't measure the fifth dimension. Telos is a world that surrounds the mountain, but know that stargates as well. How are they created? By unique beings that or have stood in that place on the mountain. I also find, and I've had experiences, there's a Pleiadian stargate that no one knows of really. And all of this was shown to me by an ascended master. I did arrive at Mount Shasta broken, and this body was, but I was guided there. And the Pleiadians, they activated the stargate. How? There was contact made there, and it was actually documented. It was documented by Paula Harris. She's a sort of reporter, I guess you would say, and she took a group to Mount Shasta, and they called in light ships, and I do the same thing. Anyhow, a ship came, and she got frightened, and she turned around, but the other people went, and they made contact there at the edge of this forest on Mount Shasta, and so this location became a very powerful stargate now, because of this contact that was made there. Others are that I've experienced are doorways into Mount Shasta, and I bring people at night to the mountain, and we have sessions where we connect to our star families, and they enter through the mountain. I mean, visibly you see this happening, and it's quite incredible. But it's the truth. The truth is the truth is pure reality, and there's nothing more blissful than this love, because it's all love.
Yes. Wow. Thank you. I've heard about all of this for years, so this is not unfamiliar to me. It might be blowing some of my listeners' minds, but I want to break down a little bit of some of what you shared. First of all, telos, Telos. Tell us what, can you tell us a little bit more about what telos is? Because that is not in the mainstream at all. But if you know esoterica, it is. So a little, maybe brief description of that dimension, the fifth dimension of
Yes.
Telos, and how that is beneficial to us.
Oh, yes. It's so important in many ways. And, and yet the story isn't that important, but the frequency that they hold here on Earth is the most important part. Telos began by a colony of Lemurians. They were guided by Elohim, angels, and an ascended master, Adama. And they were brought here. They were in the third dimension at the time, as the Lemurians had fallen in consciousness. This is okay. This is part of human evolution, not spiritual evolution, as we are all perfect beings of light inside these human bodies. And so they arrived here in the third dimension, and they still held some God technology. And with this help and guidance from Ascended Master Adama as well, they created a third dimensional city within Mount Shasta. And this is, and during the gold rush, people would see them in town trading gold and all of these things. And they were tall, and they look like, just like we do. And so they lived like this for a while, but then they ascended. There is no more third dimensional city. There's nothing that your human body could walk into inside Mount Shasta. Everything is light now. For we are, they are guiding, we are guiding each other, and so now they hold God consciousness on Earth. And this is a world, Telos. Now it's not a city. It's a world that has skies and a spiritual sun. There's oceans there. Everyone is in their highest expression of God, in their fullness. And so for me, what I love about them is that they chose to stay on Earth. They could have gone to celestial realms and so many other worlds of God, but they chose to stay here on Earth to help humanity come into their hearts.
Beautiful. So Talos, just to recap, so they were on 3D. They were third dimensional bodies during the time of the gold rush, let's say in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Then they ascended to their fifth dimensional form, but they're still very present there on Mount Shasta. I mean, where else can one feel that palpable presence of them? Because and they seem like they're anchoring this energy of love and connection to divine. And it's so beautiful that they're still strongly there, maybe in the subtle planes on Mount Shasta, although they've left their physical form about 100 years ago.
Correct. They live here in the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension means mastery. It means knowing who you are, and it's very beautiful. Um, Again, it's a world, and I've been there many times. And when you walk on Mount Shasta, you walk through this world, as well as many other realms. But they are helping with ancient technology, and they use light crystals. This is conscious light, and we use this technology on Venus, where I come from, in the sixth dimension. And but together we do these missions, and we've arrived at a timeline, and sacred convergences are happening between all of us. And I'm sure a lot of you can feel this inside of you now, or have been. Something else is emerging from you.
This is beautiful because this is a great segue. This leads me to another couple questions. Like, I love what you're sharing here. And again, our listeners may be like, what is he talking about? I urge you to just take in the vibration from Paula Venus because it's extremely healing and it comes from love. So if you can't follow or you can't consciously make sense, it's okay because it's not about what he's saying, it's about the vibration. But I want to follow up with a couple things you've mentioned, the Pleiadians and the Venusians. So I know that they're connected. I have a connection with both of them personally too. But we had a couple beautiful guests, Dr. Raymond Keller, who is a UFOologist who talked about Venus, and our friend Rob Potter, who has passed away on May 5th. And we had an interview with him back on April 25th. And I know that you were his friend and colleague. If there's anything you want to say about Rob
Yes.
Potter and his mission and the love that he brought to the planet.
Rob, a beautiful Venusian, truly a master. And he came to merge and bring Venusians together on Earth and share the fifth dimensional Venus, and remind people and ignite people about the importance of oneness. And he's my friend, and I feel him now in his full mission. He came to Earth to alchemize, as we all have, for we come here to Earth to take on and raise the consciousness of humanity by alchemizing all of the sadness and the fears and all of the physical human emotions through our bodies back into light. And so now he is as his true self, not inside of any body with filters, truly himself. And it brings me joy, and truly I feel him on the mountain often. And there is
So do you think he's here
so much more.
energetically and he's also made it back to Venus?
Oh yes, we leave an imprint, and this is felt on Mount Shasta. I feel him in my heart, and I can feel him present. I felt him present during these last moments of Wesak, and that we are in now a time of unification of many all ascended masters, and around that are here, that are part of this human Earth hologram that we create, and just know that he is free now, and he did his perfect mission, and that we choose when we are going to leave these bodies. No one ever dies. No one's ever born. Just the bodies and the brains and the minds. These things, they're born and they may die, or you may ascend.
So, speaking of that, a lot of people are leaving their bodies right now as we transition from, I believe, a third dimensional planet to the fifth dimensional energies. And this is something you're very, very familiar with, the fifth dimensional new earth, and how this actual lunar festival of the Vesak, honored in Buddhist tradition, the Scorpio full moon that happens every year when the sun is in Taurus, when Buddha was incarnated, he received enlightenment and ascended. You noticed a palpable shift there on Mount Shasta, and I would love to
Yes.
hear your insights on that and just the fifth dimensional consciousness coming in, because what's going down on the 3D can feel dire to many, what's happening. And so I guess I'm
Yes.
looking to you to transmit and give us some hope with what is coming, and even how the galactics and the higher dimensional frequencies and energies coming from the ascended masters, Venus, the Pleiadians, and the other galactic dimensions, how that is here to help us now. It's not a year or 2 years that we're in this right now. So anything you can speak to, I know that's a lot, Paul, but anything that comes through for you on all of that.
We are at an ending of a civilization, of a human cycle, and the beginning of a new human cycle right now. And we are ascending. Now, the new earth is here, and it is glorious, and it is perfect, like the love that you long for. This is your natural state. You long for love because you are love, and permanent love. The fifth dimension, love doesn't begin or end. It just is present always. You are as your fullest expression, as your true self, one with God. You are with ascended masters. You are an ascended master. All of you are ascended beings. And we are together here on earth in this third dimensional density with, again, fears and doubts and judgments and wars and all of these horrible things. And yet, this ends up being the biggest opportunity. All of them are opportunities for us to emerge from these bodies, not to leave, to come out of your heart into the body as your true self, and such, holding your frequency on earth in the third dimension unites all the realms.
Are you interested in natural health and regenerative healing? Do you want to work with vibration to heal your body? Check out this patented wearable light technology at www.lifewave.com/JillJar. LifeWave is a company that has patches that you wear. So it's not transdermal, you're not taking anything in. And what these patches do, they activate your body's light. It's called biomodulation. And that light is activated, your body starts producing GHK, copper peptides, which in turn activates stem cell production. That's right. So wearing these patches will regenerate your body, reflects your body's light back into your tissues, and you become more vital, energized, reduce pain, inflammation, improvement of sleep, increased strength are all possibilities. Other benefits could be hair quality, rapid wound healing, mental clarity, increased joy and stamina, your skin appearance and wrinkles could go away. Again, all probable and possible depending on your chemistry. Others have enjoyed increased sports performance and recovery and restored muscle or skeletal conditions. Check it out at lifewave.com/JillJar and order yours today. Thank you,
Hmm.
Paul. That was amazing. Keep going about sharing hope and the fifth dimensional new earth and how we can all attune to that frequency.
So just know this, that what you are seeing on earth, the wars and the judgments and people lying to other people, government, control, all of this, it's dismantling, and it needs to, because it's being reconstructed from within light. And so all of these things, and they are causing people to awaken, for they realize, wait, this is not right. And then maybe they'll go to a place into their hearts where they feel, they ask God, God, what do I do? Show me. And so all of these are God tools. Fear is a God tool. All of these things, judgment is a God tool. They help others to awaken, and just know that as this is happening, okay, you are alchemizing, meaning you are healing, in other words, all that has ever been. Every single star civilization that has been on Earth that created energies and disharmonies, Lemuria, Atlantis, and so many others that you don't know, colonies, again, from the stars, and so many things. We are now alchemizing and clearing through your own human experience on Earth right now. And this is ascension. Because, and again, this is because we are at an ending of a human cycle and the beginning of a new one. And know this, again, the fifth dimensional Earth is here. It is surrounding this Earth and intertwined with this third dimension. You can feel this tangibly on Mount Shasta as frequency, and you can see the people there, and you don't even need to see them, but you will feel them, and know that this is here. Um, know that many people are ascending into this earth, and there are already so many there with ascended masters and angels, with their families and friends, and it's very beautiful. Again, the fifth dimension is, everything is in its fullest expression. So everything is in as light. You are only light. You are not these bodies. You are eternal light. And as such, you are being yourself. Everyone is. So are the trees.
So, would you say that like people connecting to the actual earth goddess, we call her Bhudevya in Sanskrit, that like actually spending time on the earth at this time and bringing it up through your body? And also, I feel like people have to heal what we would call shadow or subconscious material from their life. Do you feel like we are being facilitated, maybe swiftly now? We're being facilitated to integrate shadow. And one of the things we can do is spend time on the earth as she evolves into her higher dimensional frequency and manifestation. We know the Schumann resonance is accelerated. So, this is what I tell people, it's all about embodiment,
Yes,
but it's
it is
also about
all about
integration as
embodiment.
well, right? Like they can't just act like everything's okay when they're running around with fear or anger. That all has to be integrated. People don't realize that, you don't just get rid of it. It's just integrated, or as you use
Mhm.
the beautiful word, alchemized, correct?
Yes, that is it. This is the most important part of ascension. And we're here to, we came, everyone did, as pure light beings to a world of blindness, and with a mission and amnesia, that you may reveal yourself in this third dimension, that you may help to raise a consciousness of the civilization as creator beings that we are. um, by, and how, by, just like as you shared, through alchemizing each human moment of fear, sadness, abuse, um, all of it, love that begins and ends, all of this and back into your body as light. And as such, this shatters your human heart, but you will begin to emerge in front of all of these other consciousnesses. And the only mission on earth truly is for you to be you.
And it sounds like love all parts of yourself, the good, bad, and the ugly.
All of it. It's a time that we have to embrace everything, and it's a time where we need the grand forgiveness. There's a forgiveness that you forgive all religions, that you forgive all generations, and all civilizations ever on earth, even the worst ones, and even the antichrists. You have to forgive them all now. This is what is needed. And
Which is the
this is
opposite of
God's love.
polarization. Yes, we're all one. The whole, and people, because anything externally out there is maybe our shadow just showing up in the world, and so embracing it all as one. And again, getting out of polarity. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. I have a burning question for you that I want to get to too. I know that you're connected personally to the Ascended Master Saint Germain, who is the one overlooking the violet flame into the Aquarian age. And I know that he traditionally has residence in the Transylvania mountains of Romania, but he's everywhere. But it sounds like he has such a strong presence in Mount Shasta these days, and that you've connected personally. Is there anything you want to say about that?
Yes. Saint Germain has been the one who has guided me to know who I am, and and more is emerging, and this is happening with many now. He comes to us at times of great change, and he is here to bring in the golden age. He is here to help you alchemize, to transmute anything that is not you, that is temporary, let's say, back into light. He is here to guide you. And he has been, again, when I arrived here, I was electrocuted and
Wow.
destroyed. And I could barely walk. I could only walk 5 steps at a time, excruciating pain. But I just came here to be with God. And at every step, I would just, would stop every 5 steps and cry and meditate, and then another 5 steps and meditate, another 5 steps and scream and yell. I was in so much pain. This body was in so much pain, and I wasn't who I am now. But I continued this every day, and I knew where certain places to go, and um, and then I started to feel a presence next to me, and every day more and more, and then I knew that it was Saint Germain, and he started to come into my dreams at first, and he guided me to Venus, and he so I would remember what I did there, and he guided me into the Ascended Masters retreat, which is a fifth dimensional retreat with many temples, and again there are meadows, skies. Fifth dimensional is you can't measure God, and he guided me also into every single fear, every single guilt, every single everything that is human, that I had come as a mission, as a Venusian, to feel. None of this stuff exists where I come from. None of these things exist where you come from. They only exist here. So it's quite they give us opportunities. But at the time, I continued this, and in excruciating pain, I stopped one day on the mountain, and I said, "You said, God, I don't want anything to be my choice anymore. I don't want anything I'm imagining or trying to create, find. I just want it to be your will, only your will."
So you surrendered.
I surrendered,
Thy will be
and
done.
for the rest of the year, yes, that was the beginning of everything.
And I think that's a takeaway for anybody listening. True surrender. Just give it over to the divine, whatever that means to someone. Before we go out here on a high with Paula Venus, I really would love you to share with our listeners about, like, if they, I'm sure you've piqued people's curiosity and they want to actually take a trip to Mount Shasta now. So whatever you can share about your tours there, Mount Shasta tours, and how that works and what you do with people if they were going to come out. We have promoted your upcoming spiritual retreats as well as your website, but anything you want to share about what you do there on Mount Shasta, and if people were interested in having an experience with you, what would that be like?
Hmm. So for me, again, I am guided by Saint Germain, Lady Venus, Sanat Kumara, Yeshua. These are all, again, friends. Your friends. For me, it's a mission every day. It's not a tour.
Okay.
Um, every moment. Right now, it was Wesak again, a moment where all of the masters came together, and so I was on the mountain with a client, and we felt a beautiful pink flame above Mount Shasta, and and truly we felt the ascended masters in the Himalayas and within Mount Shasta and around us, mostly around us, and all of us in rainbow energy, which we all manifested together using certain technology that is underneath this vortex, the Temple of Love on Mount Shasta. And it was incredible, the unity that was manifested and created. And these are eternal moments. And so what we do is, what I do is, I create eternal moments that allow you to feel pure reality, allow you to enter what's real, and you see yourself through this. There are places I help people with human embodiment when, again, they have things to alchemize. This I continue to alchemize as more of who I am. It, my fullness wants to emerge, and I know who I am, but I can't share that name yet because there's still more to alchemize now to allow the fullness of who I am, which is much more than Paula Venus, to come forth. And so again, we are in a moment where we are emerging from our hearts as aspects, and then a fullness will come. And so know that this is a beautiful moment to be on earth, and feel the blessing of it and the joy. And there is so much here, and the fifth dimension is here. Also, my mission, and with you who come to the mountain, we are uniting realms every day to help unite this third dimension with the fourth dimension on earth, and allowing a moment where people just open their eyes softly, so softly, and they're in a different realm of, of truth and knowing themselves, all of us together. So this has been my mission recently, and what I continue to do. And so you may come to the mountain, And again, those who are invited will come. Know that right now you have been a part of a beautiful eternal moment, and I send all of you so much light from Mount Shasta.
Thank you so much, Paul. That has been beautiful. Your sharing has been so uplifting, and I thank you so much for being our guest today.
Joe, it's been a beautiful opportunity and to create this energy with you today, and sending you all of my Venusian heart. Thank you
Thank you.
in full oneness.
If you want to find out more about Paul, check out his website, www.mountshastaspiritualtours.com. That will be in the show notes. He has some exciting upcoming retreats. From August 1st to 4th, there's a Venusian goddess retreat. The goddesses from the Ascended Master realms have called this gathering. Paula Venus and Roxy invite you to a fifth dimensional experience into infinite, unconditional love on Mount Shasta, the mountain of love, a divine feminine embodiment humanity called for help, and you volunteered to come from the stars. You hold the frequency needed on Earth now. Join us as we enter the higher realms. Again, you can find out about that on his website. It's a retreat for women on Mount Shasta, August 1st to 4th. Then there's the Lion Gates portal 88 on August 8th on Mount Shasta for Lionsgate 8825 with Paula Venus, a warm, mystical, and empowering group gathering during the peak of the Lionsgate 88 portal on August 8th. Join us on Mount Shasta. This date is considered the powerful, energetic gateway of the year, and we will unite in ceremony as Paula Venus guides us through profound multidimensional activations at two of Mount Shasta's sacred Stargate sites. All soul-aligned seekers are welcome in this open group event, coming together to ignite our inner light and galactic remembrance. And then in September, Paul is hosting an Arcturian healing retreat from September 20th to 23rd. Join Paula Venus and Roxy Karishki as they call the Arcturians from Mount Shasta, so they illuminate us with their starships, sending codes to us. The Arcturians will emerge and heal each of us and provide activations. So these are some exciting events in late summer and early fall on Mount Shasta with Paula Venus. Check it out on his website, MountShastaSpiritualTours.com. It's a great time to book a reading. So check out my website, JillJardineAstrology.com/shop, and pick the kind of reading or service you would like. I hope you enjoyed this episode featuring my guest, Paula Venus, talking about the fifth dimension, Mount Shasta, and transmitting healing through the quantum field. Remember to subscribe, download, share, and give us a 5-star review. This is Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine, sending healing frequencies through the quantum field.